Hello, this is the Thethrell at AMZ Game on League of Angels. We have an event, and apparently it's a little bit confusing for some people, understandably so. I had a little bit of a hard time understanding it at first, so somebody requested that I do a video on it, and what they're talking about here is this House of Cards. This is a pretty good event, really mainly for cashers, but you can get some decent stuff out of here as a free player as well. So I'll just kind of go through the ins and outs of this thing. So you've got prize swap, which on the left side here, you go through all the different prizes. I'll cover that a little bit more in just a second. You have your draw cards. Now at the beginning of every day, you get 10 free attempts on this common chest. And what each of these different chests is, it actually tells you right here. I don't understand how some people don't see this. It's right in front of you in the middle of the screen, but each chest has a chance to draw different cards. And then different cards equate to different prizes, of course. So right here, this one goes 2 through 7, and basically your 7 is your wild special card, and of course, so those will be the hardest to get. But this is your cheap one here. You get 10 free attempts a day. And if you happen to have okay, if you happen to have some card drawing thingies, sure I have some somewhere. Here we go, right in front of my face. That's what card lotto vouchers are for. Some people didn't quite understand that last time they had some, and this is where you use these vouchers. For every one of these you use, you get one more House of Cards attempt. So right there, I've got 60, but I'm actually saving them up. But if you use these, that will add to these free attempts you have here. If you want to draw some more of these cards 2 through 7, you can do so individually for 50 diamonds each, or draw 10 times for 500 diamonds. The other thing with this is if you have your 10 free attempts, a lot of people didn't know this, I was telling people in my server, you can hit this draw 10 times. Even though it says required 500 diamonds, when you have 10 free attempts here, it won't charge you. You can just hit that 10. That way you don't sit there, go through draw 10 times. So yeah, if you have 10 attempts, go ahead and hit that draw 10 times. Saves you a lot of time, and it'll draw all 10 cards at once. Now for your more expensive chest, of course the price goes up. 150 per attempt, 1500 for 10 attempts, and it gives you 8, 9, 10 jack, and also a possibility of getting a 7 and an ace. And then for your big chest, 5,000 and 500, 10 jack, queen, king, and ace, and the lesser joker. And I'll, of course, cover that in just a moment. So that, that should let you know. Once you look at your prizes, figure out what you want. That tells you which of these chests you need to draw from. You can't just, unfortunately, you can't just keep drawing this free chest and then, get the top rewards for it. It just doesn't work that way. This is a caching game after all. There are a lot of really good things for free players in here, but there are some things set up specifically for caching. So now that we have that, you've drawn your cards, you can go in, look at your rewards. Son of Odin, Mountain God. You've got some really nice stuff in here. Hecate. Now here's how this works. If you want the Hecate and you somehow manage to get 2 of these little jokers. The little jokers, as we saw, you can get from drawing cards. You can also get those through various hot events. That's actually how I have one. I got it through a hot event or something like that. The big jokers here are a lot harder to get. You can either get those through some hot events, through some caching, I believe, maybe recharge or something like that. You can get those through that, or the point rankings overall. If you manage to get 40,000 points and get in the top 5, you can get one of these, or if you get first place, you get 2 of them. It's pretty hard to do. It takes a decent amount of money to get up into this kind of point range here. Because basically each... yeah, you'll figure that out. Okay, and so going back to here, when you want, for example, the Hecate, and you manage to get these things, if you're missing a card, for example, I'm missing here the Queen of Spades, I can go in, I can swap it. For every card draw that you do, you get points, and then you can exchange these points for cards. So I can, as you can see, it's already highlighted. I needed 9 of them, so it would cost me 675. I could go ahead and swap that. I'm not going to because I don't need that, obviously, but I could go ahead and swap that. That would give me the 9 cards. Then I would go back to here, and this would have said 9. Now for your special cards, the jokers, the 7s, the 10s, you can't swap. You have to draw them or get them through an event. That is one pain in the ass thing. But, so going back to this, if you want this Hecate, and you're thinking, okay, I'll go ahead and get this stuff, and then I'll have the Hecate. It's not how this works. For the Recruit Tavern, you have to get, for the special troops like Hecate, you have to get this crest, and you have to get their card. So where is she? No, third one. Okay, so as you can see, you have to get 1,200 of Ruby Hero Souls, you have to get the card, and you have to get the Hecate crest. That's how these special ones work. I know there was a lot of confusion. People were messaging me all day yesterday about this. Yeah, if you want one of these things, you have to get the crest and the card. You can't just get the crest and then expect the hero to suddenly appear. Yeah, and that's for all of these here. If you want just the regular Ruby guys, they just cost Hero Souls. You can see there's no crest requirement up here. So hopefully that explained that a little bit. So now going back to House of Cards. One really good thing with this event, it pops up every couple weeks. We actually just had one end a few days ago. The rewards in them do change, so you can get different stuff out of them every time. Most of the stuff will stay the same, but a few things will change. And the cards that you have and the points that you have for card swap stay in between events. So don't feel like you have to use up your cards, you have to use up all your points and getting a bunch of stuff that you don't need. I know people getting all this stuff, using up all their points and all their cards, getting this stuff. Personally, I don't recommend doing that. I say save up your stuff, figure out what it is you want out of these things, especially these higher level things here. If you just save up your points, you can eventually get all of these cards. What you can do to get these is save up your free cards for your free draws until you have enough to make that 40,000 points, and then use them all at once during one event. Don't use them in between each event. Don't use them every time you get them, or else you'll just be getting 500, 1,000, 2,000 points. But if you just save them up for a month, 2 months, whatever, you can get that 40,000 points and then end up getting one of these big jokers and getting one yourself these things for free. So, and like I said, you can get the small joker through some hot events. So the only thing you have to get is these things, and you can swap these for points. So save up your points, save up your cards in between times, and you can end up getting some of this stuff. Things that I think are worth it in here, any of these hero souls, any of these hero crests are good. Things like this, I don't think I would waste 2 jokers on that. A level 8 dodge and hit, not really worth it. I don't see these things as being worth it. These shards here, what this is instead of getting a crest, you get shards and you have to make the crest, and as you can see it says collect 100 to synth a crest. So if you wanted to get the Valkyrie, you'd have to do this swap 10 times. And it's a little bit easier because you can actually do this one for free. You can get all of these cards completely for free doing your free 10 draws every day. So, you know, look for stuff like this. Valkyrie, I actually use Valkyrie, and it is badass. It's almost 300 KBR right now. It's pretty awesome. Let me see what else. Level 7 Cherub Stone. I look at this and I think this is a huge waste. But hey, you know, if you want to spend all these cards, you know, for that, then you know, more power to you. But basically, just like anything in any game, sit down, figure out what it is you want to get, and then work on your points. Don't just spend your points just because you have them. Don't sit there and go, wow, oh shoot, I can get some synth scrolls and some angel tears, I better cash in on that. It's not ultimately the best investment. And this is where I try to excel in what I do as a gamer, looking for ways to maximize on my investments. If I'm going to put money in, I'm not just going to put money in and then go waste all my points down here. Put money in, save those cards. You can cash in what cards you have that you don't need. For example, I don't really need all these lower level cards. I could cash them in, swap them over for some of these higher level cards, and then get some of the bigger prizes. So I think I've covered everything I need to. Point rankings, I mean, it's the same point thing as everything else. You have to get this many points to get on the board, which gives you this reward. You have to get this many points to get the big reward. So if you have any questions or anything, you can message me if you want to play League of Angels. I'm loving League of Angels so far. A lot of good stuff about it. I have I'll post a link for it in my description of the video, below the video. If you have any questions, you can message me there or find me on Facebook. Thank you very much.